everyone! Welcome to another episode of So Not Scary. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this adorable pincushion that matches our mini sewing machine cover that we made here. And it's going to be super fun. Now before I begin, let me just warn you really quickly. Making this pincushion is super easy because we're going to be using our mini sewing machine. And really, believe me when I say it, it is supposed to be easy, okay? But I made a handful of bloopers while making it, so don't get scared of those, don't get put off by those. You'll understand once we work through the video. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here I have some cute fabric, some interfacing, and some stuffing. I'm going to take my fabric and iron it out. And on the back of the fabric where I like the pattern, I'm going to take my interfacing and hot press it on with a dry iron, just to give it some structure. I'm going to do that with the backing fabric as well. Once it's ironed out, you can see this is what it looks like, just roughly cut around, nothing very precise at this stage. I'm going to take these guys to my cutting board. And then, looking at the pattern on the top fabric, I'll cut it out using my rotary cutter. You don't have to use a rotary cutter, you can use a pair of scissors. Just go with the pattern that you have. This isn't an exact science. Use the pattern and the size that you want for your pincushion. Here we are, just cutting away all the sides, and it's rolling away nice and smooth. All the ugly bits are falling away and we are left with a nice precise rectangle that frames that sewing machine pattern. So here we have two pieces. Now watch carefully because this is where I make a huge blunder. You're supposed to sandwich two good sides together, but look what I did. I sandwiched a good side onto the back side of the other fabric, and I'm completely oblivious to what I'm doing. Here I am just sandwiching away, not realizing the huge mistake I've made, but I continue to do it anyway. I sandwich these guys together and I take these cute little clips and I clip these two pieces of fabric together. This is just so everything's together and held in place while we take it to our sewing machine. Nearly done, and I'm still oblivious to the fact that I've sandwiched one good side to one bad side. Look at that, completely ignorant of this fact, and I'm just carrying on crafting. So the clipping is now nearly done. I take a Sharpie and I make roughly like a 2-inch apart mark on one side, so I remember not to sew through that, and I'll just sew all the way around it using our mini sewing machine. Let's just undo the cover that we made, set everything up, and now we're placing our project with that point underneath the sewing machine needle. And now we're going to do a nice straight stitch all the way around, and I'm using a little pair of scissors to press down on the presser foot just to make sure that we're not skipping any stitches and the needle and the thread are going through all the layers together. There we go, going around nice and easy, pivoting at the corners. We've approached the end and I'm leaving quite a length of string at the end so that we can knot it together like that. So just clip it to equal lengths and then take a needle, pass the thread onto the other side, and now we're going to take both the ends of the thread and knot them together in a tight double knot and snip off the extra lengths. Guys, if this video is making sense, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That's it, let's move on with our project. Here I am, still oblivious to my mistake, and I'm happily cutting away the corners. So there we are, snipping away the extra bulk. And now here I am trying to turn it out, and look what happens now. This is where I realize the huge mistake I've made. There's interfacing coming out from inside that pouch. So what do? I just iron another layer of interfacing on top of it. So now when we turn it out, yeah, the right sides of the fabric does come out, but there is a layer of interfacing on top as well. But look what I'm doing. I'm just peeling away that interfacing. So I just lift it off one corner and I start to peel it away and it just comes off. It was lightweight fusible interfacing. It's just peeling away and at the ends just snip it off with a pair of sharp scissors, and hey ho, we're left with a nice clean backing. Now we turn the corners out using a pair of sharp scissors or something else that's nice and pointy. And now I'll just fold in the raw edge and iron the whole thing out so I can kind of prepare it for stuffing. So here it is, nice and neat, all ironed out, and here's the stuffing. We're going to start chopping away at the stuffing and just stuff it inside that pouch we've just created, little bits at a time. Make sure it's nice and fluffy, it's not too compact, and just keep on stuffing until your pincushion feels nice and full. You want to have a nice chubby pincushion so that there are no sharp pointy pins and needles sticking out at the bottom, because that could hurt you. So just take your time and stuff it out as evenly as possible. Use your fingers or any other sharp pointy objects to make sure that the stuffing is going into all the corners. Nearly there. Eventually you'll start using smaller and smaller pieces of stuffing as the pouch becomes more and more full. And here we are. Now we're left with a nice full pouch. So we're going to seal the opening using a hand sewing needle. So I'm just going in to hide the knot on the inside of the folds. And then I'm using a simple whip stitch to seal that opening close. If you don't know how to use a whip stitch, let me know in the comments down below and I can do a video on that. It's super easy, super simple. I think it's one of the first things that kids are able to do when they're sewing. So here we go. I'm just knotting it closed. And now I've got a cute little button that I want to install in the middle of the pincushion. So first I'm locking the thread in place by doing a couple of top and bottom stitches, and now putting the needle through those buttonholes. I'm going to secure the button in place, and as I do, I am trying to pull really tightly on the needle and the thread so that there's a nice indentation in the middle of that nice chubby pincushion. And we're nearly done, passing the needle back and forth, and once it's done, I'm going to wrap the thread around and around the button to secure it in place, and then I'll do a double knot there as well. So here we are, going back up again, and now we're going to wrap it around the button, make a loop, and then knot the whole thread. There we go, and then just hide the ends of the thread inside the pincushion itself and snip off the ends of the thread, and there you are, the button is done. And there you have it, that's your finished pincushion. I hope you like the way it looks. It was super fun, super easy, and I made some really silly mistakes that made me learn a lot. So yeah, do go ahead, try it yourself, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye!